Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 15th of May. India underlines denial of consular access to its national by Pakistan at The Hague. Counting begins in Nepal after historic voting. And reintroduction of special train services in India's Kashmir thrills children. And now for all the details. The International Court of Justice, or the ICJ, on Monday began hearing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav's death sentence by Pakistan. India presented its argument and urged the court for immediate suspension of Jadhav's sentence.
India on Monday told the International Court of Justice, or the ICJ, that immediate steps must be taken to stop Pakistan from carrying out the death sentence of former Indian naval officer Kulbhushan Jadhav. Noted lawyer Harish Salvi, representing India, told the court that India could not arrange for defence aid to Jadhav due to the denial of consular access by Pakistan. Refuting the espionage charges levelled on Jadhav by Pakistan, Salvi argued that India's case is that throughout his incarceration, Jadhav was denied consular access. Citing Nicaragua, Germany and Mexico's examples, he said that India seeks annulment of death sentence announced by Pakistan's military court for Jadhav.
An Indian national was in military custody. He was made to confess, and then he was tried for offences and awarded death penalty. The prejudice caused by egregious breach of the Vienna Convention assurances provided for in Article 36 is writ large and does not merit any further elaboration. India asserts that the breach of the Vienna Convention and the facts of the present case is fatal to the trial of Jadhav.
Salvi pleaded for exercise of extraordinary powers of the ICJ president to stop the execution till India's application was heard. India had approached the ICJ on Monday after it felt Jadhav's life was hanging in the balance after Pakistan repeatedly flouted the Vienna Convention on consular access to deny Indian officials any meeting with the prisoner.
Moving on to news from Nepal, the counting for the first phase of local level elections in Nepal began on Monday. Nepalese voters cast ballots in local elections for the first time in 20 years to vote for local council representatives. The second phase of elections is scheduled to be held on the June 14th.
Counting of votes in Nepal began on Monday after the first phase of local-level elections was held successfully across 3 provinces on Sunday. The country voted to elect people's representatives to the local governments after 2 decades. The historic elections took place in 34 districts in provinces 3, 4 and 6 in the first phase in a largely peaceful manner, barring a few incidents of violence. 1 person was killed while 20 others were injured in the Powati polling centre in Dolkha district after police opened fire to control the mob that tried to disrupt the election. According to election officials, violent incidents forced the Election Commission to postpone the vote in 3 polling centres. Early estimates of the Election Commission put the voter turnout at over 73%. Voter turnout during the 2 constituent assembly elections in 2008 and 2013 was 59% and 78% respectively.
In news from Bangladesh, Bangladesh's Supreme Court on Monday upheld its earlier verdict that handed convicted war criminal Dilawar Hussain Saidi imprisonment until death in a war crimes case. Saidi will now have to serve prison time until his natural death. A 5-member appellate division bench dismissed 2 separate petitions filed by Saidi and the government seeking review of its previous order. While Saidi pleaded for acquittal from charges, the government had sought for his capital punishment. The International Crimes Tribunal sentenced Saidi to death in February 2013 for crimes against humanity. He was found guilty of genocide, killing and rape during the 1971 Independence War in Bangladesh. Saidi is the leader of an Islamist party, Jamaat-e-Islami, that sided with the Pakistan Army during the 1971 Liberation War and committed war crimes. He was one of the country's most popular Islamic preachers, drawing hundreds of thousands to preaching sessions when he was still active. Moving on to news from Afghanistan, at least 70 service members of the Afghan National Army attended volleyball and weightlifting selection competitions for the upcoming Invictus Games 2017 recently.
At least 70 service members of the Afghan National Army recently attended volleyball and weightlifting selection competitions for the Invictus Games 2017. The Invictus Games, an international Paralympic-style multi-sport event for armed services personnel, will be held in Canada in September. Army personnel taking part in the selection process said that they wanted to serve the country by taking part in the Games.
نوركو جوړي او څه خبره نشته خالي هر انسان چې دې منګوري و د تلویزیون لار کې بس کوشش کوي دا والیبال او کې یو څه بل ټیم کې بس خارج ته ورشي بس مسافه دي بس خارج ټیم ته بس دعا ورکي.
Meanwhile, the head of US and international forces in Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, said during the event that United States is committed to provide long-term support to Afghanistan.
We are working hard with your security forces.
ما با نیروهای شما به گونه جدی کار میکنیم که هراس افغانی را شکست بدهیم. ما کار میکنیم تا با فساد مبارزه کنیم و برای کشور مانند شما رهبر بسازیم. شما پشتیبانی حکومت و رئیس جمهورتان و نیز پشتیبانی جامعه جهانی را دارید و ما یک جا برنده خواهیم بود.
Several Afghan army soldiers who had lost their legs and hands during clash with militants urged government to provide with more sport opportunities to represent the country.
Meanwhile, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project under China's Belt and Road Initiative has always drawn protest from the people of southwestern Balochistan province. A German activist said that the project will change the demography of Balochistan.
Locals of southwestern Balochistan province have been objecting to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project under China's Belt and Road Initiative. Human rights activists have been raising their voices, calling the multi-billion-dollar project a step to loot their natural resources. A German lawyer and human rights activist highlighted similar sentiments and said Pakistan Army has already begun its operation of expelling Baloch people from their lands on the behest of China.
CPEC will have big impact on Baloch people. They already have no access to Gwadar port, which is leased for 40 years by China. Fishermen in front of are no longer allowed to fish. The demography will be changed. China brings its own workers with them. Baloch will be expelled from their villages and homes.
Waitlich said that China signed an agreement with the Pakistani authorities to secure influence over the resources along the CPEC.
We are appealing to end this one-sided illegal contract and to set up a new real one to the benefit of the Baloch and the other deprived nations of Pakistan.
While the Baloch people continue to object to the CPEC project, China on Sunday opened one of its biggest foreign policy initiatives since 1949, the One Belt, One Road or OBOR summit in Beijing.
Moving on, a fortnightly train service only for school children for excursion purposes was reintroduced in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday.
Around 450 school students from across India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Sunday boarded a train at different railway stations and explored the countryside of their province. Wadi ki Sair of fortnightly train services only for students was stopped after educational institutions closed down in the valley as winter vacation started.
बच्चों को एक एक्सपोजर देने के सिलसिले में प्रोग्राम था और अच्छा लगा बच्चों के साथ सफ़र किया बच्चों को भी थोड़ा सा एक्सकर्शन सा हो गया पता लग जाती है हम अपनी रियासत के बारे में ज़्यादा और अपनी एनवायरनमेंट के बारे में क्या हालात हैं तो ऐसी चीज़ें बच्चों को उनका मन लुभाती हैं और इंशाल्लाह आप बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी देखेंगे जिनमें बच्चों को और हमारा ये होगा कि एक्सपोजर.
The train services was first introduced in December 12 last year, when Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti travelled from Banihal town with students of different schools. The train service can be availed only on 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month. The Kashmir Valley, which is surrounded by mountains on all sides, is yet to get connected to the rest of the country through railway link. The ongoing project to connect the valley with the mainland India is likely to be completed in 2020.
Amid heavy firing from Pakistan on a daily basis, residents in India's northern Nowshera sector of Jammu and Kashmir province were forced to flee their homes. They are now living at government relief camps.
Nearly 1,000 people from Nowshera sector of Rajouri district in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province were evacuated by local authorities over Saturday and Sunday as Pakistan army sprayed bullets and lobbed mortar shells. Amid heavy firing from Pakistan on daily basis, residents of the border area are being forced to live in government relief camps to protect themselves. Young children were particularly faced by inconvenience trying to adjust in the new location.
बहुत ज़्यादा फायरिंग हो रही है, हम गोले से बहुत परेशान हैं, तो छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, बच्चों की परेशानी है, ठीक से रह भी नहीं रह रहे, वो पक्के भी नहीं है हमारे पास, बच्चे को भी परेशानी होती है.
According to reports, 51 schools in Nowshera sector have been closed indefinitely due to the firing. Pakistani troops continue to fire intermittently upon Indian positions along the border, causing pain and trouble to the residents.
A more than 100 feet tall statue of an incarnation of Hindu Lord Shiva in India's southern Coimbatore city was declared the world's largest bust by the Guinness Book of World Records.
Located on the outskirts of India's southern Coimbatore city, a 112 feet tall statue of Adi Yogi, an incarnation of Hindu Lord Shiva, was recently declared the world's largest bust by the Guinness Book of World Records on its website. The giant steel sculpture, which weighs 500 tons, was designed over 2.5 years and took 8 months to build. The bust symbolizes 112 possibilities for human beings to reach their ultimate potential, which Shiva as Adi Yogi opened up.
When we built and designed this statue, we never really thought that this would become a Guinness record. But after having constructed it, we found out that it in fact was the largest bust sculpture on the planet. The entry was submitted into Guinness records, and they have identified and verified Adi Yogi as the largest bust sculpture on the planet.
The bust was unveiled by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on February 24, an occasion of Hindu festival of Mahashivratri, which marks the day of Lord Shiva's marriage to his consort goddess Parvati. The Indian government has included the consecration of this glorious face in its official Incredible India campaign as a destination.
In a first for lunchbox delivery men and auto rickshaw drivers in western Mumbai city, 8 of them walked the ramp, turning models for the budding fashion designers. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.